Hi, I'm Rusty Allen, North Haven Gardens Education and Outreach Coordinator, and I've got some more Texas tried and true perennials that are all native today. I've grown all of these in my garden, and most of them are drought tolerant to one degree or another. This is one of my absolute favorites. I always use this plant. This is Salvia greggii, or autumn sage. It comes in pinks, reds, whites, many different kinds of colors. It acts like a shrub in the garden. It's going to be almost deciduous to almost evergreen. It acts in between. It's going to be about 2.5 feet by 2.5 feet. It has all these blooms most of the year on and off if you just do a light shearing in between. But the big show definitely is autumn when the butterflies and hummingbirds come to it. Here's a plant for the front of the garden. That's going to be Blackfoot Daisy with these little nickel-sized white flowers. They smell like honey in the sun, and it blooms over a very, very long period. It's going to be blooming from mid-spring all the way through fall, and it's going to be almost evergreen, an excellent plant for the low areas in front of your garden. Here's another plant that I love in the summer, and that's going to be Esperanza. This is meaning hope. And because of these nice long yellow flowers, you're going to definitely get some hummingbirds in the garden, and bumblebees tend to be a big favorite on this plant. It's almost a shrine, as I sometimes call these plants. That's going to be a vine and a shrub put together. You could grow it almost either way. Most of these are going to be tropical now. They used to be a little bit more tolerant of cold, but if you give it a little bit of care in the winter, cover it, maybe bring it inside, put it back out, you'll have a beautiful plant for the fall. Here's another one that I love for a background in a garden, and that's Acanthus. This is flame Acanthus, and because of these orange tubular flowers, it's called Hummingbird Bush sometimes, and it really does bring them so very well. An excellent plant for the background with this light foliage. You can see a lot of nice contrast in it. This is going to be like a woody perennial. It's big. It's going to be 4 to 5 feet by 4 to 5 feet wide. How about shade? I know shade is so difficult for most of us, but there's a lot of great perennials that are native that can handle it. This is Turk's Cap, Malva viscus, known for its unusual little fez-looking flowers. This is that great plant to bring hummingbirds to a shade garden. This is one of the biggest perennials for the garden for sure. Again, about 5 to 6 feet by 5 to 6 feet, and it's going to come back each year for you. Sometimes you might find a pink version. This is the pink Malva viscus, Turk's Cap. Excellent again. Here's another plant that is so widely distributed. This is American Beautyberry. It is distributed over a lot of America, but this is a great plant in Texas for sun or shade. It will tolerate both very nicely. First you get these nice airy pink flowers, and then later berries. These berries right now are turning green. Later they'll be a mauve color, and it will bring birds very well. This is a big favorite of birds. Deciduous shrub. It loses its leaves and leaves back out pretty quickly in spring. Big again, about 5 feet by 5 feet. Here's a plant that I love to include in a shade garden, just like some of the grassier kinds of plants. Ferns with their light airy foliage makes you feel cooler. Just look at the Granny Smith apple green foliage. This is a true perennial, so it's going to come back every year. You're going to let it become a ground cover if you would like. And once you start seeing these little fiddleheads, these little croziers here, you'll start seeing it spread almost indefinitely. It's great in containers as well. Beautiful plant with that green foliage for sure. Here's another plant that I like a lot. This is Mexican petunia. Yes, you may recognize that. That's the taller one typically. This one's called Katie's Ruellia. This is the short version. This plant will only get to be about 12 to 18. It may seed out for you, which makes it a really wonderful ground cover. And it can come in this purplish blue, pink, or a white color. All of these plants are drought tolerant. All of these plants are low maintenance, and they deserve a place in your garden. Come to North Haven Gardens because we have a lot more perennials for you and a lot more natives.